from Blackpool?
Expecting a good game, good team, good manager, got great players, and it's a big test. But ultimately, it's one we're thriving on because we feel we've got the same. So it's a good matchup. But we've got to make sure we respect them, but definitely not fear them, because we're going into this league now where we feel we've got the players to adapt to it. We feel the teams we've played in League One, who we've pit our wits against over the years, over last season, and we feel we'll be okay. But ultimately, we can't disrespect Blackpool because they've got some good, fantastic players. They play the right way, and it's an exciting game we're looking forward to.
How excited are you with the squad you've put together over the summer?
Very excited. I think for me, a lot of people keep telling me in the football industry that we've done well to keep the nucleus of the squad, because they know the style of play we want, what we done last season, how we done it, and adding a little bit more quality, well, if not a lot of quality to it, obviously bodes well and helps. But in terms of looking forward to it with the squad of players we've got and the ones we've brought in, but listen, we're going to have ups and downs. Let's not, make no bones about it. It's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, but we're going to enjoy a lot of it, hopefully more than not. And it's one we're really looking forward to.
What do you think the biggest differences will be for the players who played in League 2 last season, the step up to League 1? What are the main differences?
Well, I think we just have to be a little bit more clever and cute. Our passing range, when to pass, when not to pass. You've got to pass the right times. You can't give too many mistakes away because you do get punished the higher you go. But a lot of our lads have played at this level, and a lot have played above the levels, so they do know, they understand, and it's about us being a little bit more resolute in everything we do, and picking them right moments. Last season was, I felt we could go at any opportunity to try and score, and we did. I think this season we've got to pick our moments and be a bit clever, which we are, and we're going to, because that's the work we've been doing.
You are a very good passing side. Do you think League 1 actually in many ways will suit your playing style?
Hopefully, yeah. Well, listen, it's remain to be seen, isn't it? I'd like to think so. I'd like to think we'll have, whether it's more time or whether it's a little bit more quality for and against. So you have to be careful against. But going forward, and for us, the way we play, yeah. But again, look, there's still going to be teams in there that will come and want to try and rough you up. There's teams that are going to be wanting to try and play good football against you. We've just got to expect the unexpected and be ready for whatever comes our way.
And what are the goals for this season? What are the targets?
What are they? Same as last season. See where we can get to. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to get promoted like I didn't last season. What I will say, we're not in the league for nothing. We're not here to make the numbers up, and we'll see where it takes us. We'll go 3 months or 4 months at a time, 10 games, 12 games at a time, see where it takes us. But we're confident, we're positive, and why shouldn't we be?
Sure. And otherwise, a fully fit squad?
Fully fit squad, yeah. Ben Reeves is obviously, he's doing work with John, so we're just whether he's going to be fully fit, because with Reeves, we didn't want to do what we done with Dom and Byron last year, where we threw them right in and then he was missing games. We're not going to do that with Ben. He possibly could be okay for the weekend. He'll train with us today and tomorrow, I think. And then the other ones, Gaz, we're just waiting on feedback, and Luke obviously with his shoulder. But other than that, we're fully fit, yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you, Ryan.
Gary's injury did look a bad one though, on Saturday, Tuesday, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, it looks bad, doesn't it? Because he's been put on a stretcher and took away. But he's fine. He's good in himself. He just can't. He had an X-ray. There's no breaks in there. He had that X-ray on Tuesday night. But we can't. We're just trying to get him in for an MRI scan now because of all the NHS stuff and all the. Finding that quite difficult. But we have to let the swelling go down, and then we'll probably know more on Monday.
Yeah, you don't think things like that, do you? But obviously the NHS is under a lot of strain at the moment, isn't it?
So we don't come first priority, unfortunately, and we don't really want him because of the situation. But in terms of it, it's just a process we have to just wait and go through.
Mm-hmm. Is Ben must be finding it difficult sort of watching on at the moment. He was out running with the team last Saturday, wasn't he, before the game?
Yeah.
But does he understand why?
Yeah, he totally understands. And when we told him we were taking him out just to do this little bit of mini pre-season programme, it was a bit of a relief for him, because when he signs, he wants to get thrusted right back in. But the good thing is he's watching games of football and getting into the style of play, how we play. He knows that because, he actually picked a select few teams who he felt he could fit into their style of play, and we were certainly one of them, hence we got the phone call. So he knows how we play, he knows what we're about. But as we've said to Ben, and Ben said to us, he don't want to miss 6 weeks. he'd rather miss a week or 10 days, whatever it is, but that's not missing it because of any injuries or whatever, just missing it because he's got to build up to what the lads are at. Ideally we'd like a little bit more with him, but we feel we can get him up to speed. It's definitely take some part in the next few games, so that's where we are with him, but as frustration comes he'll get the benefits once he's fully fit.
Now Ryan Hardy on Saturday, but you've got Luke, Dom, Frank. Dom and Frank have both scored already, so you're not exactly short of options there, are you?
No, we're fine. It's good. Got Bayern who can play there. Lolos was terrific on Tuesday night as well. So we're okay. As I say, once Ryan's opportunity goes to someone else now, and that's for me to pick and decide who that'll be. But again, they're the headaches I want. They're the opportunities the lads will get given. And yeah, we feel we'll have enough anyway.
What's it like for Ryan, do you think, to sort of know that he's not playing on Saturday? So he's working now with no chance of playing. I mean, normally they might have in the back of their mind, well, I could be in the team or could be on the bench or whatever. But
no, I think he understands, obviously, this, and Ryan respects Blackpool. It's his parent club at the moment, you know what I mean? He's with us, and listen, he loves it here, but also he's got to have that respect for Blackpool. He's their player. And as I said before, even if the deal would have been he could play, and they asked me not to play him, I wouldn't have played him for mutual respect. But in terms of there's a game Saturday, Tuesday, hopefully. So the game's coming thick and fast. I think the first one is, listen, you always want to start off with a bang, don't you? Especially the strikers, and Ryan would be no different.
Does it feel like the first league game of the season when you've already had a couple of games? I mean, how do you think you and the team will feel at 3 o'clock on Saturday when it is the start of the serious business? I
don't really know. I think last Saturday was big for us. We QPR, and you're thinking to yourself, go on then. You're playing championship opposition. Some people would look at it and say, it's a free hit. Well, no, it's not. Nothing's a free hit in football. We went out and done what we wanted to do. We had the confidence we could win. But we've got to have that. And Saturday now, this is our third game in, if you like. And you've got to look at it and think, okay, it is the first game of the League One campaign, which we want to be successful and be, have a decent run in it. Let's say that. But in terms of the start of the season, everyone will get excited because it's the first league game. But we've been excited for the week before the build up to the QPR because we knew what was coming.
Any more signings?
Good question. Yeah, possibly. Yeah. Again, look, we'll have to see what Gaz's injury is because we certainly we're certainly going to need some cover. But we'll see what Gaz's injury says, and when we get the doctors and the specialists have a look at him and they tell us what's up and how long he's going to be, then we may look to do something just as cover. But other than that, and then maybe one or two might go out. I think a couple of the youngsters will start moving on out a little bit now and going to get some game time, and that's not because they're not wanted, it's just to progress their development, and then we'll see where it takes us.
One last one for me. After the game, when I was waiting to speak to Shuey, you had a chat with Charlie, Finley and Brandon, who were all in the squad, and Brandon made his debut at 16. What a fantastic moment for him. What was your message to those three?
Just players? Basically they'll go back now with the kids, and it was a thank you message from us. Well, Charlie and Finn will go back, but we'll have to keep Brandon with us now for obvious reasons, as a left-sided centre half. So we just said, look, thank you. Them boys, their attitude is like being top draw, and I praise the youth team staff for that now, Jamie and Darren and everyone associated, because the attitude of the kids have gone from there to there, because they know they're going to get an opportunity if they're doing well, and they've been in our bubble since we come back, because they need to be for numbers. And then obviously we have to give Darren the best opportunity to win games of football for the youth team. So we felt it was only right. We didn't want to bring kids with us to Leyton Orient or to Wimbledon when they're just going to sit in the stands. We'd rather them be playing for their own development. So yeah, it was just a thank you from me and the staff, how well they've done what they've done, and they know now the trusted when called upon, because they were terrific. Ideally I'd like to have got the 3 boys on, because we had, I think it was 10 academy graduates out there, and I would have liked to finish the game with at least 8 or 9 of them on the pitch. We will do that eventually, certainly, 100% confident in that. But it just shows how far this football club's come with first team, academy, the scholars and everything else that goes with it. So I think we're on the right track.
Thank you.
How did you find it Tuesday night not being on the touchline?
I was getting a bit itchy at times to go down, but I just felt it was listen, obviously I trust Shuey 1,000,000% and Nance, and you know, I just felt that let them deal with the team, and sometimes a different voice, and you know, they're not always hearing my voice, and especially some of the youngsters. Sometimes you can be not in order of me, but you can be like, oh, the gaffers, you know what I mean. So I left it a little bit where, you know, Shuey presented, he done everything he set up, and listen, we still have the same ideas and nothing changes. But I just felt, you know, leave it to him to deal with, and the lads might be a little bit more free playing and not really panicking, you know what I mean, in terms of if I have a pop at one of them on the sideline, can they go under, can they rise to the occasion. But listen, they were all terrific. Yeah, we lacked a little bit of quality at times in there, but no, look, I'm fine with letting me staff continue that, because it's something that I can then look at upstairs of who needs to go out on loan, who I can trust, who I'm looking at, and I look at it a different perspective then when I'm upstairs. So it was okay. It was a bit itchy at times, so you wanted to get down, but especially while there's no fans here, it's fine, isn't it?
Did you sit in the grandstand?
Yeah, just sat behind the
Different view. How did you find that? Because I've done both, and I do the pitch announce, down on the line up and commentating up.
Yeah, I've done it last year at Swindon, and you see those different pitches, and that's why we have Neil Juicnip up there all the time, because he's got the mic into Shuey's ear, and you know, you do see a little bit different, because you can see the bigger picture, where sometimes you just focus on one or two players, but for me it was focusing on the whole team and just having a look from upstairs. Yeah. It's not, and I don't really like it, to be perfectly honest with you. I like to be on the touchline. Anyway.
Yeah, most of the time you don't even sit down.
I know, yeah, I sit down for a second and then jump back up. So
that's the interesting thing. There are no fans in here, and what's fascinating me is watching you during a match. There's not that much vocal input, is there? Or is that because we're not hearing every single thing?
On a match day?
From you, you know,
yeah.
Is that because you've got your game plan in order and they all ready?
It's a trust thing, Rossi, yeah. Well, if we haven't done our work by Saturday morning, then something wrong. You know, there's always one or two things, like the QPR one we had to change tactically a little bit, because I don't know whether any of you see, and they play the 4-2-2-2 and then, you know, we have to tactically change and be quick, and we've done that, hence why we went on and won the game. We felt we dealt with that quite good, and again, the lads know the instructions, they get given it, you know, all week, how we're going to beat them, how we're going to try and beat them, our patterns of play, everything we know we give to them. There's some certain elements where you have to give someone a rocket on the sideline, which is, you know, come on, and hopefully you don't hear me too much while there's no fans in here, but again, it's just something that we feel we can do. We have the trust in the players have the trust in us. If we have to, and we'll give them it. But no, the trust element with the players, they know the ins and outs of what the game plan is. So ultimately, we, you know, as you said, we don't have to do too much.
And as you said, it's hard not to get excited by this. I know you had to keep me sort of grounded last week when I spoke to you after the game, because you've come from a goal behind in 68 seconds and won it with a winner like that, and you had to tell me, like, calm down, basically. Is that still your philosophy? You know, you've had a week to think about it now. I mean, that was a real result last week, wasn't it? You know, when you think about it, no fans in, so it was a footballing game. And you had to beat a championship side that went one up in 2 minutes.
Do you know what? Without being a bit big-headed, that's what we want. That's what we're here to do. We're here to excite, to play the style last season. You know, you do have to win people over in that, and you know, there'll be some question marks against us again this season, even though what we've done, because somebody will say, oh, well, why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? We stick to our philosophy, and you know, we won't change from it. And we expect to win every game. Whether we can is a different matter, or you know, we'll lose some, we'll draw some, but we want to try and win every single game we play. So I get, you know, there's a lot of excitement last week because we beat Queen's Park Rangers. Yeah, they did have a few players missing, but so be it. We had a goal scorer missing. So,
yeah, Tom Carroll midfield. And
they had the Premier League player. But for us, we can't get too high and can't get too low, Rossi, at the end of the day, because you know, there's highs and there's lows right the way through the league. We're certainly going to probably come up against that this season, but that's the style of play and that's what we want to be doing. So when that happens, then obviously I'm happy deep down, but I don't get too carried away, because the next one's here and then the other one after that, and you know, everyone's sorting out different games, but we just focus on one game at a time.
Toughest question of all, more excited this season with this season's squad or last season?
I'm just excited to be managing this football club, really, and you know what it brings with us, and the staff I have and the board of directors. It's you know, people look at some managers struggle to manage clubs and teams because they've got too many overheads coming down and stuff that affects them. We don't have that. We've got a great togetherness. We work right the way down, right the way to the academy. I was excited last season for obvious reasons, because my first time I'd come down here, and you know, we wanted to get this club back in League One for the time being. We've certainly done that, so we're excited again now to see what next season brings us.
I lie, it wasn't the last question. Darren Way, I saw Darren Way's team play at Alberton. As you say, I mean, I was amazed at how they came at Alberton. I warned the goalkeeper, I said, here comes the Alamo. Yeah. That's what you want throughout the club, isn't it? Yeah. You want that attacking style. I mean, they literally came on. Like,
yeah. Well, we're changing the whole structure of the academy, the youth team, from the first team right the way down, because we need to know that we can trust these players. They can play our formation and our style of play, and Darren's certainly the right man to do that in terms of the youth team. Him and Jamie, you know, they coached them well, the attitude's spot on. Hence why the lads have been with us for so long. Not that it weren't, but when we first come down, we didn't feel the academy or the youth system was very good. We felt it was a bit of a nosedive. So obviously the changes were made, the structure changed, and I'd like to think that the youth system is in a far better place than it was.